another episode of the Umso podcast. I don't know why I have that radio voice there. Welcome back to the Umso podcast. Today, it's another Umsolo, dealing with anxiety and frustration and things like that, and hopefully giving some ideas and tips of how I deal with it. First, we got a few sponsors. Again, thank you as always for supporting the podcast. I really do getting to enjoy thinking like this and sharing this information and speaking long form and talking to you guys in this method in a way that I really like to get to interview people and answer questions and get to interact with you this way. So here we go. We have Hybrid Performance Method. You guys know about them. That's Steffi and Hayden. They're awesome. They're down there. You have a bunch of real badasses who've been writing programming and nutrition and stuff like that for clients. They've been a crucial element in what has helped me make the physique changes I've made over the last couple of years and allow me to continue to push hard and learn more and more about nutrition. This is something that I think I'm in a really weak spot with as far as my athletic career goes and that side of stuff. So having some guidance there for me to learn what works for me has been great. You know, it's not simply just a macros approach, but it's people that are going to be there to help you dial in performance and make it as good as it can. So head over to Hybrid Performance Method, use code UMSO, save yourself 5% on any of their monthly subscription services and for any of their programs. They've got like 35 different programs right now. So bodybuilding, athletics, recovery, powerlifting, weightlifting, strongman, anything they got it in there, and it's great programming. So you can bounce around from one to the other. It's the same price every month. So head over to Hybrid Performance Method, use code UMSO, save yourself 5% on all your subscriptions. We also have Stay Classy Meats. And look, all these things go hand in hand, right? All the sponsors that I work with, man, they're all about making performance better. They're all about things you can do to improve your life. And so Stay Classy Meats fits right in there, right? Like it's the best food and best quality meat that I've ever had and ever been able to have. I love it. It's unreal. And right now you can go over to their site, use code UMSO, save yourself some money on a box. You can also build your box out however you want to. And this is single source, direct from farmers. You're cutting out this big factory farming bullshit. That stuff's gross, man. If you look at any of the documentaries on it, like it's a real fucking bummer, man. I just don't think that that's what we were supposed to do. But look, I like better quality food. I like working with companies that I believe in, and Stay Classy Meats is one of them. You not only get the best food that you can, you're also going to get, you're working with a company that's sustainable. It's grass-fed. It's the animals have free range, and it's just the best quality stuff for you with no added bullshit to it like hormones or antibiotics. I mean, if I'm going to have extra hormones in my body, I'm going to put them there by choice. Not from the animals I eat. That's a fact. So head over to Stay Classy Meats, use code UMSO, and save yourself money on meat. Along with food and performance, Eat Right Foods. Eat Right Foods has been awesome. They've handled meal prep for Bonnie and I. And it's been so nice having the fridge kind of constantly full. The big one for me is I've been eating their shrimp. Their shrimp is so fucking good. The shrimp is so fucking good, man. Eating their shrimp with some rice as well as their like ground turkey chili. Ooh-wee. It essentially just allows me to continue on a vertical diet and keep kicking ass. Like I don't have to think too much about it. I can just be like, fuck, I'm hungry. I go downstairs and like an idiot, put it in a bowl and fuck, heat it up, smash it. And that way it's just fuel. Like most meals for me are going to be just fuel. Not every meal is going to be some fucking wild experience that I need a double cheeseburger covered in Krispy Kreme donuts. I need consistency most days to make the progress that I want to make. And Eat Right Foods is a big portion of what's helped me do that. So if you use code UMSO, you'll save yourself some money. You can get 10 meals from them for $90. There's free shipping on the East Coast, and over anywhere else, I think it's like $25. So $115 gets you 10 meals. That's better than I do at Taco Bell. Friends. And finally, one of our newest sponsors is Chili Sleep. You can follow these guys over on the old Instagrams and check them out other places. But man, this thing has been the biggest game changer for me that I've purchased in a long time. And again, purchased. So I had a unit on our bed before I was working with these guys, and it's awesome. So imagine this in the theater of your mind. Imagine that your bed stayed the temperature that it is when you get into it. It's nice and cool and the sheets feel good, except it feels that way all night. You don't ever get hot and gross because you're a big dude and you're trying to sleep under blankets. Like, I can honestly sleep with a hoodie on. Like, yo, I've never been able to do that in my life. I'm a 240-pound dude. I've got this, some friends are using it and seem to be enjoying it as well. Anyway, their new Uller system is really, really awesome. It's got an app. It runs from your phone. It's been killer. I've actually been using it as my alarm clock, right? So it's warm when I get into bed at about, 8:30 because I'm old. I also wake up early. And then at 5, it starts warming up. And it gets cold in the middle there. So while I'm in my deep sleep and REM sleep trying to recover, it's cold. And so I'm going to have that body temperature locked in, deep sleep, great place, super comfortable. And then at 5 a.m., it starts to warm up slowly. And that's actually what brings me out of deep sleep. And I wake up really nicely at a very consistent time without having to use an alarm clock. Pew pew. What's better than not having to hear some ringing shit in the morning? Either way, use code UMSO and you can save yourself 22% right now on a system. I think for a king size bed, I think they run about $1,000. So this is going to save you quite a bit of money on their new Uller system. They also have a cooled weighted blanket. Weighted blankets kick ass. Being hot and suffocating under one, not so cool. So if you had one that would stay cool and hooks up to one of their systems, think about that shit. Game changer. I'm going to get one for our bed anyway and just fucking cool sandwich my body to death. Anyway, check out ChiliPad, Chili Technology. It's really rad stuff. Like, it's honestly one of the best things I've used in a really long time, or maybe ever, for really improving overall quality of life and sleep. So Chili Sleep, man, if you're a big dude and you get hot at night, quit joking around and get one of these things. Use UMSO over at Chili or at Chili Sleep. Check out the new Uller system and save yourself 22%. Also, this month for Hate Brain Goods, we're giving away one of these units. So if you order anything during the month of October, we have like a week left. Save yourself some cash, and we'll send you one. So check that out. All right, let's go ahead and dive into this podcast. We got a bunch of questions to answer. I fired it up. I want to talk about anxiety. I want to talk about frustration. Since these are two things that I've worked on quite a bit, I wanted to share my thoughts and share what I've learned and kind of what perspectives have worked for me, if you will. So, trying to find the right angle for this thing. All right. It's Fudgy. That's a good name. Also, in case you don't know, CBD joints, CBD tinctures and all that shit, great fun. Vape pens, pretty good. But these CBD joints from Oregon Originals, for anxiety, these are lovely. These are full spectrum, so there is some percent of THC in it. We're like talking like a point, whatever legal amount can be contained within a full spectrum and not be considered a THC product. I don't know how many of these bastards you'd have to smoke to get lit, but a lot. But other than that, I really like it. I really like the CBD. It has helped me with anxiety. It seems to do a pretty good job of managing appetite. Oh, man, I'm just bashing into shit. And overall, CBD, Oregon Originals, so will save you money there too. All right. So trying to end my 9-to-5 life and also do cool shit. Anxiety is a motherfucker, though. Do you deal with overthinking and doubt? Yeah. Of course I do, man. Of course I do. But I don't operate out of fear. So that's a difference, right? Like, that's typically where anxiety has triggered for me, is this fear approach of like, what's the worst that could happen? This could be it. This could be the big failure. This could be all this spiraling out of control sensation of feelings and thoughts and everything about like, what if, right? And the truth is, if you want to quit your 9-to-5 and do your thing, here's my thoughts on that. If you're going to be successful and you think that there's a chance that you're going to be successful doing your own thing, it's a shit ton of work. It's going to be, you're going to be doing 80 hours of work a week for you instead of 40 for someone else. Be prepared for that. The other side of that is, if you're capable of making it on your own and doing your own business, have confidence in the fact that you're hireable, that you have skills and you have a value. And if at any time this doesn't work out, you can go get a job. I'm not saying that it's not a step back, but I'm saying there is some you can always go get a fucking job, man. That's the thing. Like, I don't know. I don't have a lot of doubt in stuff. Like, I mean, look, I started Hate Brand and I didn't really dive into it being my own thing or the only thing I was doing or main income source until I was 3 years into the business, but it wasn't a time concern at that point. I was able to fit both in. My other job at the time just didn't require a whole lot of effort. But I would do as much as you can until you can't anymore. Take time to build what you can to manage that anxiety before you leave your other job. And if you don't think you have time to do it, then I'd recommend you finding fucking time. That's the easiest way to go. It seems people who want to get this done, get it fucking done, and they don't have excuses about it. So Tyson Slack, advice on supporting loved ones with anxiety. Quit trying to help and just listen. That would be my biggest, man, is quit trying to come up with solutions for them as much as listen and help them with their problems. Anxiety stems from a lot of different places. The actual mechanism of anxiety is one thing, right? So you want to start eliminating the things that actually cause anxiety. You got to kind of dig those things out by their roots. And so just be careful with that. I mean, that's it, man. It's just support and love and let them know that you're there for them and that you understand the weirdness. You understand that there's a bit of crazy there with the anxiety, and that's fine. The real Josh Gill, how do you deal with anxiety that comes when all is good and you're afraid you'll fuck it up? Again, fear. I don't operate out of fear. I try to do everything out of love and not fear, and that kind of keeps me driving forward. That keeps me not worried about the what ifs or failures or any of this, because I also don't put all my chips on the table to get scared of one big fail. But how are things going all good? Like, how do you feel when things are bad? I mean, if you have anxiety both times, then you need to sort out, at least when it's good, man, know that it's good and it's good for temporary time. And right now, enjoy it. I don't know. I don't operate with a lot of doom and gloom and shit collapsing. So, I mean, how to deal with anxiety that comes up when all is good, that you're going to fuck it up. Like, start having confidence in you. Start looking at the things that you have accomplished. Start putting down a list of like, yo, I did this, I did this, I did this, I did this. I've pulled out of problems before. I can problem solve. I can, boost your own shit up by knowing that you've got the skill set to handle whatever's going to come. Nick Merv, go-to thing that helps you out with anxiety moments. Weed is one. CBD is another. Breath work is really good. You can check out anxiety breathing apps, stuff like that on Apple and iTunes. They work really well, man. Breath work's a big part of it. I mean, even 6 big breaths, right? Like 6 big breaths like that through your nose, out through your mouth is going to change blood pressure. It's going to change a lot of things chemically and can help with anxiety. So there's some simple stuff, breath work, to do. Those are things I think about. That's my go-to. Those are the physical things that I do. I also, if I know that I'm going somewhere and it's going to be kind of an anxiety-filled environment, I don't know, DMV, City Hall, fucking airports, any of that type of shit. Noise canceling headphones. That's been a big one for me. It's just the ability that if I can shut my eyes, I'm gone. I'm where I want to be in my place. So that stuff, that kind of helps me get out of that funk, I guess. Raymundo 24, what is the best advice you wish someone had given? I did a whole podcast on that one, so check that one out. And it's not really about younger me with anxiety. I mean, I think it's worth being careful about. Anxiety is still feedback, right? Like there's something that you're listening to there that's supposed to be driving action. It's us who just want to turn off that red flag or whatever that's popped up and not actually do any of the action that's behind it is the problem. So figure out the root of that shit and get to attacking. That's what I would tell younger me is like, yo, keep listening and keep fucking driving toward whatever it is you're doing. Juice box, Brendan. Anxiety with competing with past healthier versions of yourself. I'm not competing against past versions of myself. Why would I compete against me? Like, it's all the same person. That's really counterintuitive and more destructive than anything else. Like, look, I want to get better, but my judgment for better is getting better than yesterday. That's it. Not 22-year-old me, not 30-year-old me. These guys are all dealing with different problems, different shit, different life experiences, different thoughts, different different perspectives on things, and even different physical challenges, from having surgery or anything else. Like, so I don't hold myself accountable to that. Like, I think that's a fucking insane idea. Like, for all of us who lift, and especially chasing that, right? Like, at some point you're going to hit a PR, and that's the most weight you're ever going to fucking lift. No different than there was a day that most of us quit playing football. There was a day that all of us had the last time we played sports in the neighborhood with our friends. Like, shit comes to an end. So quit trying to be better than that and just be better than you are yesterday. And I mean, healthier, if we're talking mentally health versions of yourself, then, think about what is it during those times that made things easier? And are those things you can eliminate to change, or are those things that you need to deal with in front of you? Like, I think anxiety is part of something that if it's coming up, like, it's something worth listening to. Now, I didn't say give in and be crushed by it, but at least listen to it. Instead of trying to bury it. Bury it seems to make things fight back a little bit more. Drew Moss, best way to combat anxiety and overthinking without medication or without medicines. I've never taken any prescription medicines for any of this. I've dealt with anxiety. I've had some not cool moments with it. Some pretty bad spells where I've had some pretty good panic attacks. Mine mostly just starts to manifest in anger and frustration because I don't know what to do. Makes me just get really shitty and kind of hate everyone around me. I get really introvert and quiet and dark. And it's not a really great place for me. I don't create well from there. I don't do things well. So I don't also take any medicine, prescription drugs for any of that because, well, honestly, I think they fucking suck. That's my personal opinion, and I'm not interested in putting in my body. I'm not interested in taking something that is, again, not fixing the root problem. It's a Band-Aid. I want to figure out, like, maybe therapy, things like that. I want to get to the root of where my anxiety stems and what I can do to address that at the root cause and pull it up from there instead of the other way around. A lot of that too can be on perspective of how you actually view things. And are you someone that looks at things from a side of fear, or are you from someone who looks at things from the side of love? And that makes a big difference too. And, that's a really easy one. Like, trying to think of an example of it, but, instead of, say, the anxiety about, say, what people think or any of this type of stuff, perhaps think about what you think and realize that most people are fucking stupid, and who gives a shit what their opinion is? Do your thing because you love it. That's it. That's been a big part that's helped me. Also, like, anxiety a lot is energy, and try to figure out how to shape and push that energy to the right direction. Try to figure out how that can be used as a fuel, used as something that helps it get better, helps you do more. Coach EFP, what is your go-to system from using unnecessary stress and anxiety in your life? I said that before, and it's THC, it's exercise. Exercise is probably the biggest. If I'm in a funk or I'm kind of in that panicky feel, Like I do a pretty good job if I can just go get on the bike downstairs or go for a bike ride or even go for a 10-minute walk. A lot of it is, man, get out of your current environment and go do something different. Get into a green space if you can. Find a park, find somewhere that there's some grass. I think that stuff makes a big difference. I know that we're showed in studies wherever, you can actually walk and be into a green space for a considerable amount of time, like it actually reduces chemical anxiety and depression in the brain by like 60%. So being trapped inside isn't going to help. Being locked into news sources that are fear-based aren't going to help. Like you need to kind of figure out how to get back to your small world, and not the global panic that a lot of us are dealing with and leaning into that. Like, because they know that we operate this way, right? This is why our media operates the way it does. That's why we have the politicians that are working on fear-based stuff to keep us battling and keep us fucking scared. So just be careful with it, man. The proper papa. What's the first thoughts of conquering anxious thoughts? Usually these start rearing up to like, am I good enough? Can I do it? Can I get this done? Am I going to fail? Etc. And what I think about is I'm fucking unstoppable. Of course I can. I've done this. I've fucking fixed a fake knee. I've built a business. I've kicked ass. I've moved. I've all these other things that I've done in my life. I know the weights. I know what I've accomplished when I focus in on it and do it. And so I fucking know I got it. It's a confidence that comes with stuff that gets rid of those anxious thoughts. And I look at it more of a challenge. Look, I had anxiety competing. Like I loved it though. That's what it was for. That butterflies, that what if, that am I going to get it done or can I win? Fuck yeah, man. That's the whole reason you show up. Like that's what I go for. How can I be more successful being in a wheelchair? Justin, I am super sorry, but I don't have a wheelchair and I am not going to provide information on that. It really depends on what you're counting as success, right? How can you be more successful at what? Justin, if you want to send me another DM, let's talk a little bit further. Tyler Rekla, how do you deal with the things out of your control that affect your business or progress? Me personally, I put everything in my control, even if it's things that aren't, right? Like I don't know how I would handle right now the idea that my business needed to be shut because of government mandate and shutdown. But at the same time, I would have immediately started trying to pivot to figure out how to get online, how to reach a bigger market, how to do this, how to not have as many anchors of things that can put someone else in control. And again, that would be my decisions at some point, right? Back in the day. I understand this would be tricky if you're a contractor or any of these things. Like there are things that are out of your control, man, that just fucking suck. And sometimes you take a beating. Sometimes it just doesn't fucking work out, but that doesn't mean you stop swinging for it. It means regroup and try again. Just try to be as smart and be as active toward progress as possible. Try to stay on the offensive with your business instead of just being reactive to whatever comes up. J.W. Whiting, how do you balance your hate yourself mentality with self-frustration and anxiety? Well, the hate myself mentality is what keeps it there, right? Like it is that little voice of like, fuck, I'm not good enough. I'm not doing this. And the part of the hate stuff that I believe in is that I refuse to not do the work that gets me better. That's mechanical, man. I can stand up no matter what the anxiety is, no matter what the thoughts are, no matter what the unsure about myself or any of that. Like I can go and I can do and I can get better. And that confidence that comes from continually doing that over a lot of years is what's got me through most of that and having the confidence to face it head on. That's a big part of what I've done. Mary Berry, how do you channel anxiety to be productive instead of spinning wheels? Well, I figure out what I'm freaking out about. And then I lean into it and I take that energy and like, okay, what would eliminate anxiety? Eliminating anxiety would be business growing. If I grow my business, then I'd feel better about things, right? Now, none of these things, the problem is most anxiety is about like a momentary thought about a thing. And I know that I have to be making decisions basically every day for my business that's going to be affecting where I want my business to be in 6 months. So I can't just back off of that, right? If I think about that's kind of the progress of where I'm at. And if I stop, then I don't have anything in the future. And that's when that lull is going to come. And that's my fault for not planning well enough. So I really lean into it and just start doing more work to know that I did everything I can. And if shit still fails, so fucking be it. But I did my best. And knowing that I did my best and failing is fine. But if I failed because I got outworked or I didn't try hard enough, not cool, man. Not cool. Real quick, Mark Bell's Slingshot. We've got backpacks and other stuff he's just getting ready to release with a strong line. Also, check out their sleeves, their knee sleeves, their wrist wraps. They're the best. Mark Bell Slingshot makes the best stuff. Use code UMSO15. Save yourself some cash and just get the best protective gear they got. They're also starting to make briefs, man. Protect your hips, son. UMSO15. I'll save you 15% at Mark Bell Slingshot. All right, let's get back to it. Ben Lauers Frodge. Southern mouth, I'm going to get that one done. Go-to tactic to prioritize what gets done first when the list is long, urgent versus important. I prioritize what needs to get done first because which one has the fastest deadline. And then I work through that the best way I can while I'm still productive. The more proactive, like I've said before, the better that gets. Also, like I'm aware at this point that my list is never ending, that there's just going to be shit that rolls over to the next day. And if it can be rolled over to the next day, then it needs to go toward the bottom of the list. But there's always going to be shit that has to get done that day that I have to get done because there's a timeline, like a drop or any of these other type things. And sometimes new priorities need to get put in over stuff that was already in the list. So for me, it's just constantly knowing what the next target is that I'm trying to do. And as long as I'm continually eliminating those targets, that's the plan. I mean, priority versus urgent, that's on you. I mean, I prioritize by like, oh shit, I have a drop Thursday, right? So I know Monday I need to do X, Y, and Z to be ready for that drop so that we can promote it for the week. Or the week before, we need to photo shoot, we need to do this, right? So it's always a long list and a rhythm now that kind of what the workload is. Let's get liminal. I like your name. Therapy is gains for your brain. Yeah, therapy's good, man. I've enjoyed the therapy I have. I'm very fortunate to have some really smart people that I can call on that see things in the world the way that I like to view things. And so I talk to them a lot, whether that's Kyle Kingsbury or it's, Bonnie and I are very open with each other and we're able to discuss anything. Like it's a very open, honest relationship about every topic. Like there isn't anything that's taboo or not cool for us to talk about. Like if it needs to be addressed, we want to be the best we can. And we're not going to leave any weak spots unseen. Trevon H. If I try to own it, how can I avoid getting down on myself about it? Self-loathing in that way is your own thing, man. You need to start developing some better talk. And look, dude, I go through this too. Like if a drop or anything like that isn't what I want it to be, like I'll get bummed and I get kind of in a dark place. But I also allow myself to be there, accept it, and then move the fuck on. Figure out what gets me out of that funk. Well, like I said, whether that's exercise or the gym, and something that gives me a little bit more perspective on this isn't really a big deal. In the grand scheme of things, this isn't a big deal. And that's one of those things that always kind of helps ground me. That's what really helps get me back, is realizing that honestly, none of this fucking matters. I'll be fine no matter what the outcome of this event is. And I'm going to handle it as it arises. I don't panic about the what ifs. I handle it when it happens. That's been a big one for me. Have I heard of the grounding method to prevent anxiety? I have not. I've heard of grounding as far as like walking around barefoot in the grass, which is awesome. And I do recommend that. How did you handle your first major injury and what did you learn from it? Kicked the shit out of me. My first major injury was this one. So it didn't go great. All right. I got to run. I got to go pick up Bonnie. Sorry, this is a short episode. We will do another. Thank you guys for listening. Check out our sponsors. Spread hate, always party. I got to go pick up that little beautiful lady from the airport. Yeah. Thank you guys for listening. Hybrid Performance, Eat Right Foods, Stay Classy Meats, Chili Pad, Slingshot, and we will do more on this. If there's a single subject you guys would like me to address for a podcast, let me know and we will get after it.